Hollywood icon Jamie Lee Curtis has just shared heartbreaking news that left fans stunned. Her older sister, Kelly Curtis, has passed away at the age of 69. But as emotional tributes pour in online, many people are only now discovering the tragic, complicated, and surprisingly private story behind one of Hollywood's most famous families. Bummed from growing up with legendary parents to quietly stepping away from the spotlight, Kelly Curtis lived a life very different from her superstar sister. And some of the details Jamie revealed in her final goodbye are hitting fans especially hard. So, what really happened? And why is this story affecting so many people right now? Key fans were left emotional after Jamie Lee Curtis suddenly announced the death of her sister, Kelly Curtis, in a deeply personal Instagram tribute. Instead of a long Hollywood-style statement, Jamie kept it raw and heartbreaking, writing, "I'll see you on down the line." Mullins. She revealed that Kelly passed away peacefully at home, surrounded by nature. But it was the personal details that truly hit people hard. Jamie described her sister as her first friend and lifelong confidant, sharing small but touching memories about Kelly's love for turtles, music, thrifting, Pokemon Go, and baking cookies for the family. Almost instantly, fans flooded social media with messages of support, with many saying the tribute felt painfully real compared to the polished celebrity posts people usually see online. And for many viewers, it also raised one big question. Who exactly was, and why did she stay so far away from the spotlight despite coming from one of Hollywood's most legendary families? Kelly Curtis was born into Hollywood royalty. She was the daughter of legendary actors Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, two of the biggest stars of their era. In fact, Kelly appeared on screen before most kids could even speak clearly, making her debut at just 2 years old in the 1958 film The Vikings, alongside her famous parents. Poland. But while her younger sister, Jamie Lee Curtis, became one of Hollywood's biggest names, Kelly chose a very different path. Even though she had the looks, talent, and industry connections to chase major fame, she stayed mostly out of the spotlight for years. That quiet lifestyle only made people more curious about her, especially because the Curtis family's story behind closed doors wasn't always as glamorous as it seemed. And over the years, rumors of family tensions and personal heartbreak started surrounding the famous Hollywood dynasty. Behind the glamorous image of Hollywood's Curtis family, life was far more complicated than it looked on the surface. While fans saw fame and reports over the years have hinted at deep family struggles and emotional distance within the household. Billions. The pressure of growing up as the children of Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh wasn't easy, and each sibling seemed to handle it differently. Some stayed close to fame, while others quietly stepped away from it. One of the darkest moments in the family's history, came with the loss of Kelly's brother, Nicholas Curtis, who passed away in 1994. It was a tragedy that reportedly left a lasting impact on the entire family and changed their dynamic forever. And while much of what happened inside the Curtis household was kept private, fans have long speculated that these personal losses and tensions shaped why Kelly chose to live such a quiet, low-profile life away from Hollywood attention. Kelly Curtis didn't follow the typical Hollywood path most people expected from someone in her position. Even with a famous last name, she stepped away from acting for a time and surprised many by working as a stockbroker for building a completely different life outside the entertainment world. But Hollywood wasn't completely gone from her story. Later, she returned to study acting at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, proving she still had a connection to the craft her family was known for. She appeared in projects like Trading Places and also stayed close to her sister Jamie Lee Curtis, behind the scenes, working in a supporting role on films like Freaky Friday and others over the years. Unlike many celebrity families, Kelly never chased fame. She moved quietly, choosing stability and privacy over red carpets, and that decision made her story even more intriguing in the eyes of fans. When Jamie Lee Curtis shared her tribute, it wasn't just the news that hit people, it was the details. She described Kelly as her first friend and lifelong confidant, a line that quickly went viral because of how personal it felt. Fond, but what really stood out were the small, intimate memories. Jamie mentioned Kelly's love for turtles, Pokemon Go, thrifting, and her famous Christmas cookies that family members adored. These weren't Hollywood stories. They were everyday moments that made her feel real and relatable. Fans online said the tribute felt different from typical celebrity announcements. It wasn't polished or distant. It was raw, emotional, and full of love. And as people read more, one thing became clear. Kelly Curtis wasn't just part of a famous family. She was the heart of it in ways most people never saw. This loss is hitting even harder because of what's happening in Jamie Lee Curtis's life right now. She's been in the middle of a major career resurgence, with fans celebrating her recent projects and the continued success of her Hollywood comeback. Blind. That's why the timing feels so emotional to many viewers. Just as everything seemed to be moving forward, this personal tragedy brought a sudden pause. Online, fans have also pointed out how family bonds like this become even more important during busy, pressure moments in life. There's also growing discussion about how close Jamie and Kelly had become in recent years, although most of it remains based on fan speculation and social media observations rather than confirmed details. And now, with the spotlight back on the Curtis family, people are realizing this isn't just another celebrity headline, it's a deeply personal loss that reshapes everything around it. A Kelly Curtis may never have lived in the spotlight the way her family did, but her impact is being felt more than ever now. She chose a life away from constant fame, building her own path while still staying deeply connected to the people she loved most. To those who knew her, she wasn't defined by Hollywood roles or red carpets, but by her personality, warm, private, and full of quiet strength. Even in Jamie Lee Curtis's tribute, it's clear she was a grounding presence in the family, someone who brought stability behind, and that's why this moment feels so powerful. Sometimes, the people who stay out of the spotlight leave the biggest mark when they're gone. Her legacy isn't about fame. It's about family, memory, and the kind of love that doesn't need an audience. In the end, Kelly Curtis's story is a reminder that not every life tied to Hollywood is lived in front of cameras. While her family carried global fame, she quietly chose privacy, family, and a different kind of purpose. Now, after her passing, fans are only beginning to understand the depth of her role in the Curtis family, and how deeply she was loved behind the scenes. Jamie Lee Curtis's final words say it all. I'll see you on down the line. And maybe that's what makes this story stay with people. Whoa. It's not just about fame or legacy. It's about the people who shape our lives in ways the world never fully sees